Sherri Papini is in the news again. And not only is she in the news, but she actually made it into a verse on an Eminem song. I cannot tell you how many people messaged me the day that Eminem released his track and he referenced Sherri Papini.
Like Sherri Papini.
Which, honestly, big win for the true crime community, okay? If you didn't know, Sherri Papini was a woman that was arrested in 2022 after faking her own kidnapping so that she could go have a little affair, have a little getaway.
See, the kidnapping never did happen.
Her husband, Keith, was at home having a good time. Like, I love my wife. She's such a little hottie. She's so sweet. Sherri's very innocent looking, very pretty. Like, like she and Keith thought that they had it forever. Well, then Sherri ends up talking to her, I think it was her ex-boyfriend or something, and she like pretends to go on a run and then gets kidnapped on the run. In reality, she's out having an affair with this other guy, and then she comes back and she's like, I was kidnapped. No, bro, she was fucking and fucking. Let's just be real. And here's the real kicker. When Sherri came back, you know what she said? She couldn't just say like, oh, they were nice kidnappers. Honey, I'm home now. She claimed that she was kidnapped by 2 Hispanic women, that they broke her nose, that they held her hostage in this room for days. Meanwhile, she's, she said that these women held her in a room for days and they even branded her. Come on. Well, the police were pretty easily able to piece together that Sherri was lying. Now, if you're not up to date on this case, I've done quite a few videos on this. We'll put it in the description, but let's catch ourselves up now where Keith Papini, Sherri's husband, who stood by her during the whole abduction scandal, he stood by her through most things. But, it was all a lie and he essentially got humiliated. So he partnered up with a documentary that was being made about Sherri Papini. And I think as part of his deal, he had to go on a little press tour. So Keith Papini finally speaks out 2 years later. 2 years later, telling us his feelings after his wife faked her abduction so she could go have a little love affair.
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
You can eat stress-free this summer with Factor's delicious, ready-to-go meals. Because listen, it only takes 2 minutes to get something from the fridge straight to your table. And look, I've said this before. I feel like I say this every Factor ad, but it's true, and I'm reminded of it every single week when I get my order. You don't have to worry about dishes from cooking or, even just plating your food. I mean, it comes in a little container, and all you need is a fork and sometimes a knife. That's my favorite part. Okay, imagine a week worth of dishes in your sink, cups, plates, bowls, knives, forks, pots, pans, whatnot. Now imagine a week of just forks in your sink, right? It really does make life easier. On top of that, if you're trying to diet this summer, or maybe you just want to eat a little bit cleaner or healthier, Factor's meals are actually dietitian approved and chef curated, so you're eating tasty and healthy. And look, one of the hardest things about it is when you're trying to start living a healthy lifestyle and you haven't done it before, it's hard. It's hard to figure out what type of proteins you need, how many calories you need to eat, all of that stuff. And look, it's just all right there in a box at your doorstep with Factor. And Factor's delivery plans are flexible. You can turn them on and off week over week. You can pick how many meals you want, whether it's 4 meals or 18 meals to keep the fridge stocked for your family. Factor makes it all easy on their website. So you can head to factor75.com, use the code at checkout, and then you will get 50% off of your first box and then 20% off of your next 4 boxes. Once again, it's factor75.com, or just use the link in the description.
Now to an ABC News exclusive interview with Keith Papini, the ex-husband of Sherri Papini, the California mom who faked her own abduction and lied about it for 6 years. He's speaking out for the first time since her arrest. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman sat down with him. Good morning again, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Michael. When I first interviewed Keith nearly 8 years ago, he was a man who was shattered by her disappearance. Now he is a man who had been shattered by that hoax. And I asked him why he did this docuseries. He told me to try to get the truth out, to tell people he had no idea about her plan, and that the biggest victims of that hoax was her own family.
Heyo.
Heyo. She made
Has anyone else never seen a video of her just like, I don't know. Well, I guess that's like a home video. That felt personal.
Heyo. She made us all believe that her story was true. Every single day she committed to the lie.
He was the husband at the center of a kidnapping hoax that captivated the country.
The search for a missing mom in California. Sherri Papini vanished Wednesday while jogging near her home.
Now, Keith Papini, after 7 years of silence, is sitting down with GMA, revealing new details about how his wife Sherri faked her own disappearance, lied to authorities, and claimed that she'd been kidnapped by two Hispanic.
And you know, in order for them to make these sketches, she had to give these descriptions. Let me just start over here. Sherri said a Hispanic woman with stringy hair, no part, and a bandana. And then she said a Hispanic woman with long, thin eyebrows, larger than the brow bone, and huge hoop earrings. Was it this big, Sherri? No. Bigger. Was it this big, Sherri? No. Even bigger. Sherri, are you telling me that her hoop earrings went past her shoulders? They were just really big. Oh my God. I just realized too. A single hoop. She had a single extra large hoop. It must have been some type of gang affiliation. I feel a tear in my eye from this. I feel a tear.
The hoax didn't just last the 22 days that she had disappeared. It lasted for years, 6 years.
Oh.
And every single day. And that's what people don't realize. It was every single day.
In the new Hulu documentary series, Perfect Wife, Keith recounts the years-long saga. What made you want to sit down and revisit all of that?
I wanted to get the truth out there and really wanted to let everybody know like how convincing Sherri was all those years.
I just want to be real. If anybody feels bad for him, you know, and I'm so sorry to be brash, but in my defense, yes, this is a true crime channel, but this is not a murder case. So technically, I can say whatever I want. Bro, you know, Keith is drowning in pussy right now. There are so many, like, you know how many little fixers are in the true crime community? Like, they are literally flocking to this man right now, and they're like, I can do you better, daddy. Like, I can treat you nicer. You guys know I'm not wrong, right? And Keith seems like a very nice guy, very loyal. He's like a little cutie, right? He's drowning in it right now. Let me tell you right now. You and me, we're at the club, right? I didn't have to do the shoulder, but I did. We're at the club, right? And we're sitting there. We just got our drinks. You're literally on first drink, girl. First drink, okay? And I look over and I'm like, oh my God, that's Sherri Papini's husband. You'd be like, where? Look, you would be all over it, okay? You would be all over it. Not everybody, but you guys know they're out here. So good for Keith. Speak your truth. Get it out there. Jessica said, I'm gay, but yes.
I believed everything that she was telling me.
In 2016, the California mother of two vanishing after going for a jog. The frantic 22-day search for Sherri began with Keith's 911 call.
I'm like totally freaking out, thinking like somebody grabbed her.
There were cracks. She was telling other people that you were abusive. She told friends that you'd kill her if she ever left you. Are those allegations true?
Oh, of course not. Those allegations hurt. They're painful.
Did you ever physically or mentally abuse her?
Never.
Wait, that was the most subtle. So I guess Sherri tried to say that he was abusive and he just was like, no.
She told friends that you'd kill her if she ever left you. Are those allegations true?
Oh, of course not. Those allegations hurt. They're painful.
Did you ever...
His little answer is so cute. He's like, no way. Not even defensive. Just like, no, I would never.
Physically or mentally abuse her?
Never.
Keith helping lead the search, but without any luck. Then, on Thanksgiving Day, Sherri turned up on the side of a highway.
Are you chained up? Yes. Okay.
Shackled, bruised, and branded. And when we interviewed Keith right after it happened in 2016, he broke down.
She literally lived
Why y'all had to
through
show that clip of him?
hell.
But now he says even then, there was doubt. When you first encountered her in the hospital, what was your first instinct?
When I pulled back the curtain and I saw her and I saw the look in her eyes, I felt in that moment that she was lying. And it wasn't until when I really got close and I could just see the amount of injuries, bruises, burns to her body, and it was a shock to me. And I remember thinking how horrible of me to even think that she could have done this to herself.
For years, authorities searched for her supposed Hispanic captors.
That is crazy that he thought she was lying, like on first sight.
The amount of fear that our family lived in that was fake is excruciating. I mean, the security at our house, new doors, new locks, new lights, new cameras.
Then, in August of 2020, trace DNA found on Sherri led authorities to her former boyfriend, James Reyes, who they say...
Sherri, this is the first time that we got a photo of him? This is the first time I'm seeing a photo of him. Girl done run off with budget chino for a couple of days. That's the first thing I saw. That's the first thing I thought of, Chino from Deftones. Sherri, big L.
James Reyes, who they say helped Sherri carry out her plan. He passed a polygraph and has never been charged with a crime. Investigators confronting Sherri about her hoax. Keith, right there.
I don't know. No, there's no way it's James. There's no way. There's no way.
The DNA doesn't lie.
But it wasn't until 19 months later, in March of 2022, that Sherri was finally arrested. Later convicted of lying to a federal officer and serving 10 months in prison.
She apologized in court. But has Sherri ever apologized to you or the children?
No, never. She has no remorse that I have ever witnessed or seen.
Do you still talk to her?
I do not talk to Sherri at all. It's very difficult for me.
Why do you think that she essentially concocted this hoax, disappeared, beat herself to a pulp for 22 days, and then continued to lie about it for years?
I think she wanted me to be her knight in shining armor and run to her, and I think that she wanted to plan a fake kidnapping, but in her version, I was supposed to find her.
And Keith says the ordeal still haunts him.
Found. Thank you. Just with a little pen.
Do you think you'll ever be able to get out from under the shadow of the Sherri Papini hoax?
I think it's always going to be there. We do want to move past it. I do want to provide my children, an amazing childhood. But I think it'll always be there.
We reached out to Sherri and her ex-boyfriend, James Reyes, for comment. Neither of them responded. We understand that Sherri does have a new boyfriend now, and Keith says that she told their kids that she's now authoring 2 children's books. And when asked Keith, is he happier now, he says no, but he is healing, and he's trying to offer his kids the best childhood he can.
Yeah, well, he gonna find a new wife soon. Let's just be real. They out there. They lurking. Make a little Facebook, get verified. You be just fine.